Stand Up Diaries with Michelle Christine.
Hello and welcome to Stand Up Diaries, entry 184. And this one says Survivor, Singapore, and more. Kind of rhymes there. This thing says P.S. I need printer paper. And then this thing says disregard, pointing at the word notes. I've run out of printer paper, but I was ready to do a diary. So I thought, you know what? I will find paper. There's always paper if you look for it. And I think this is the back. I did ask permission before. It says MFS Moderate Allocation Fund. Oh yeah, some really exciting graphs and things. I don't know if you can see that there. So, long story short, I was able to use it. Okay, so what has happened in my life? What has happened in my life? So, I started a podcast, that's the and more. It's called Moments with Michelle. I have 3 episodes that have aired so far. I want them to come out every Tuesday. And it's going to be with different types. I don't know what types of people. I just wrote in the kind of description, every walk of life. Because I don't know. I don't want to pigeonhole myself in who I get. Maybe one day you can get like Keanu Reeves. But then you can also have, maybe someone from like Broadway. You could have someone in business world. You could have a teacher. You could have a doctor. You could have a comedian. You could have a storyteller. Or you could have just somebody that you meet in a place like Singapore and you think would be an interesting person to sit down and talk to for an hour. So I really don't want to pigeonhole this at all. And so the first 3 podcasts I've had is the first one was a woman telling bus stories about her lifetime of bus travels in Los Angeles, including meeting someone for the first time, catching a bus and ending up paying her month's rent, which, you'll find out more. It's on SoundCloud, and I think there's an RSS feed where it posts on iTunes, and then a couple other ones that SoundCloud recommended. So hopefully it's easy to Google. Maybe I'll put actually in a link in my description on this YouTube video. That would make sense. Holy shit. Anyway, so I've started that, and it's quite fun. The second person was a person who kind of works in IT and also does screenwriting and comedy, and the third person actually talked about their divorce, which is quite interesting and got quite detailed into the things that led up to the divorce and the aftermath of it. So it's more of a storytelling based podcast where I have a moment with you and you kind of share a story or something about your life, and we go off into little tangents and whatnot. As you can tell, tangents are something I'm good at. And so I'm really excited about it, and I have 99 views so far. So 99 people have listened potentially to 1 minute or the entire thing, who knows. So that's quite exciting because it's about to go into triple digits, and I'm actually really excited about that, which is hilarious. And I have I think 199 YouTube subscribers, so it's like holy crap. So I'm glad that I'm very happy with my small viewership, but I'm literally just happy that one person decided to listen to it. So I have to say I am quite excited. And I am about to go to Singapore. What? I'm playing a show in Singapore, and I posted it on social media, and I'm doing it at a comedy club in Singapore called the Merry Lion. And excuse me, I got something in my throat. The guy running it sent me the ticket link, and I put it online. And then the next day, after I'd send it out to the world, it said sold out, which I thought was a mistake. It's a free show, so sold out is relative, but they've all been reserved. And I said to him, oh, maybe there's a mistake. He's like, that's not a mistake, I'm very impressed. And I was like, holy shit. So what's exciting is that I might not have to be outside in potentially the heat of Singapore handing out flyers for the show, which are also expensive to print off, so not even having to print them off would be really nice. And then I'll have a crowd, so I'm quite excited about that. So I'm there for a week. I'm going to hopefully eat lots of good food, and then I head to Perth to do the Fringe Festival there, and then Adelaide to do the Fringe Festival there, and then of course come back to sunny Los Angeles for a little bit. And I also got an early acceptance to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Woohoo! So I have a spot to go back there in August, which is quite exciting. So I'm very excited about that stuff. And Survivor was also mentioned. I did on January the 6th a Survivor theme comedy show at the Virgil. It was really nice to get back to the Virgil. The Virgil's a riot. I have so much fun at the Virgil for sure. It's a great time, and this is the second Survivor themed comedy show that I've done. So and I've done two Zelda themed shows at Meltdown, and that second show was really awesome. And then now two Survivor shows at the Virgil. So I don't know what theme I'll bring back next, but people quite like this theme because it's not like your typical comedy show. There's crazy challenges, there's impressions, there's maybe a one-liner competition or whatever it might be, and then people vote each other off until you have one sole comedy survivor, which last time was a guy named Zach, and he got voted out early, but the bring back Zach chant that went on through the show meant at the end he ended up being brought back, because it's a comedy show, it's not going to be strictly to survivor rules. And then in this one, there was a dance-off at the final two people, and the dance-off was so good. And since we are raising money for charity, we had co-winners that'll win donations in their name to the Rainforest Trust, which is a charity that helps to prevent loss of rainforests in places like Borneo, which was where one of the seasons of Survivor was. So that was really cool. I'm very amped. I'm still riding the high from that show. I did get quite hungover, but it's so nice to see all the friendly faces coming up to support you, as well as lots of new faces as well. So that was really cool. So those are probably the biggest kind of things that have happened. Survivor show is great. Singapore is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to go to somewhere new and perform somewhere new. And then my podcast is obviously something that I'm just starting to delve into and learning Adobe Audition. It makes me want to pull my hair out at some points, but I did find a preset for podcasts that had things like hard limiters and like speech levelers and amplifiers and all that kind of proper stuff, so that if you have kind of peaks when you're excited and you laugh, and maybe lows when you're talking a bit quiet, it kind of moderates that out and knows that this is a podcast, so knows kind of what the volumes should be and how to process that clip. So finding that was really great with Dean's help yesterday, because I was just doing it manually and trying to find different features and saying, oh, I think I need a hard limiter, and oh, I think I need this volume, stabilizer and all this other stuff. And then when we looked at what the presets were for the podcasting, I think 3 of the 4 of them I had stumbled across on my own, which was cool. But it's always good to have it sounding as professional as possible. And now there's a jingle between my little intro of saying that this is a podcast, a little bit of a jingle, and then I go into the actual interview. So it's quite cool. I'm very excited about it. So this has been your next edition of This has been your next stand-up diaries. This is 184. Look at that. We're charging along to 200. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.